Hi, we are
Ann Siang Sounds.
Hi, my name is Ollie and I'm a co-founder of Ann Siang Sounds. On my right is Lara and Jeremiah, and they are also co-founders of Ann Siang Sounds. Ann Siang Sounds is an open jam community founded at Ann Siang Hill Park. We've been hosting open jams for about a year now in different outdoor places as well. We've been around for a year now. Yeah, just over a year.
Since March 2025. Well, a bunch of us decided to come together. We decided that we wanted to jam with our friends and create a space where our students could come by, our friends could come by, whether you're an amateur or professional. And we just kind of invited a couple of friends to come jam with us. And it was a really nice day. So we decided to go outside. And then that kind of evolved into what it is now. So it started off with just a couple people. I think our first official jam was like 30 people, and now we're looking like 300 that show up. But really it was just us setting up our instruments in a circle, inviting people to come out. And then naturally people just kind of gravitated towards the sound, and then it is what it is now. I think music does the job on its own to bring people together. People hear sounds, they gravitate towards it, they want to know what's going on, or they want to be a part of it. So I think that happens on its own very naturally. But what makes Ann Siang Sounds bring people together is probably the spontaneity of it, the idea that it's a jam and that people can come in and participate in it. And I think that's what made it a bit more unique. It's not just hearing music and then watching it. It's actually being able to contribute to it and contribute beyond just playing, but also just standing around and cheering people on and being a part of that community.
Previously, we hosted like smaller jams as well, indoors or at our friends' places. But for this one, it specifically was outdoors at Ann Siang Hill Park.
Yeah, we're not the first open jam to exist, but I think what makes this a little more unique is that we're outdoors and accessible to public. A lot of the jams are indoors, or maybe it's at a bar, so you have to be over 18, or it's amongst other musicians, so you have to be in that inner circle to know about it. And it's honestly, like, now that we've come up with Ann Siang Sounds, there have been so many other open jams that are even more accessible now as well. So we don't claim to own open jams, but I think we were the first to kind of make it something that anybody and everybody could participate in, and it's free for all.
The first outdoor session was very, very chill. I think it was 30 people at one go, and out of these 30 people, almost everyone participated as well. Passerbys, they were just spectating around, and we realized that people started bringing in camping chairs as well, and they just sat down, and then we realized, like, oh, this is a vibe, and we wanted to keep it going as well. So the next round, we invited more friends, some of my students as well. Yeah, and then it became a whole community on its own that we continued all the way.
Yeah, the first one was very chill, and we say chill because there's a lot more. It's still very spontaneous, and we will always keep that forever, but it's a lot more structured and intentional now when we run our sessions. So the first one was like, oh, you want to play? Go for it. Because we didn't have to create a line or a sign-up sheet or anything like that. And now it's a, hey, come talk to the host. They'll let you know when you can go on, what song do you want to play, what instrument do you want to play. It has to be a little bit more organized. It's still spontaneous, but still very organized too, because once you have so many people and everybody wants to have a chance, you can't just run in. So I would say we're a little bit busier than we were compared to the first few sessions.
No, nobody came in to intentionally disrupt. But I think challenge-wise would be mainly on Lara's end, really trying to juggle that volume of people, like, hey, I want to play. When is it my turn, and all that stuff. So you get very excited folks who are super enthusiastic about joining the jam because it's a fresh experience. Like just to add on to that point, as a student learning music on your own, you'll learn everything and practice on your own. So there's no real opportunity to play with other people, and you tend to end up playing with Spotify or a track at home. And coming here, feeling the energy is a completely different experience.
I think we didn't set out to build a community. Like, that was never our intention, and it's so amazing and beautiful that that's what's happened out of it. I think for us, we just wanted to create a space that we felt was lacking, which was, we don't have a place where we can invite anybody and everybody to come together, and that's what we try to do on our own anyway. So the fact that people responded so well to just our small little desire is kind of great, and it's It was really validating to know that everybody shared that same desire.
I think that connection that you make with another musician, not just on a networking level, but when you play with each other, you start to understand each other a little bit better also.
My hope for the music industry in Singapore is to stay alive. It's very much like we have so much going on, we have so much talent. A lot of it is hidden, a lot of it is not supported financially. And so when things can't be supported financially, unfortunately, it means it doesn't have a space to thrive and it doesn't have a space to be alive. And while we can do this job here with Ann Siang Sounds of educating and exposing the Singaporeans here and those who come visit about music and that we have this talent, I mean, a lot of the feedback we get is, wow, I didn't know Singapore had this. And that's from tourists and from people who are living here, you know? And I think we can do that job of educating and exposing, but we can't do that job of sustaining. And I think at some point our mindset has to shift to, we have to find a way to support our musicians too. And we have to pay for our musicians. We have to give them venues and avenues to have career opportunities. So this is all great. You know, we can help, you know, teach kids how to jam. We can teach them how to be in an environment with other people. But if they're 18 and there's nobody who wants to pay for music, then they're not going to be able to do anything with all the skills that they've learned from performing, right? So, and then it's sad because then they have to look elsewhere. So I really hope that the music industry in Singapore stays alive. Like we find a way to support our musicians and give them spaces to grow. I think I would say just show up. Like just come and watch one, come and experience what a jam is, because just because you show up doesn't mean that you have to be in the jam, doesn't mean you have to do anything beyond support. I think there's so many stages to being a part of Ann Siang Sounds, right? You can show up and support from the audience. You can cheer and sing along from the crowd. You can ask to join a cover jam. You can ask to join an improv jam. You can sit on the djembe and silently, very quietly hit it to feel like you're a part of it. A lot of the kids that come in and don't know how to play an instrument or really want to play the drums but only know how to play a verse, so we can't throw them into the jam yet. We're like, just hit the djembe, you know? Or parents who bring their kids, or just like, just take a seat at the djembe and just like tap along. So I think there's so many stages to being a part of it that it doesn't immediately have to be in the jam circle in front of everyone if you're not ready for that.
Also, if you are coming alone and if you feel like you don't know who to socialize with, all our facilitators, we're all full-time musicians as well, so we are happy to share whatever thoughts that you have, you know. And also, if you're coming in to play and if you've not joined us before, the facilitators or the core jammers will be there to help you guys out as well, be it whatever instruments that you're playing or whatever genres that you're playing.
Yep, I think if you're not feeling confident, the best way is just to keep practicing. Come to more jams, you know, put yourself out there a little bit more. And bit by bit, when you get acquainted with the space or the experience, it'll feel a lot more natural.
We were all mentored by senior musicians before, and we want to make sure that the younger musicians as well have the same guidance as what we had before.
Yeah, and I think it's important to remember we were all that person once too, who was a little bit shy, a little bit scared to pick up the instrument, pick up the mic, to join a bunch of people. It does sound a little intimidating to be with a bunch of strangers, but maybe it helps to know that everybody here was a stranger at some point too, and honestly, there are probably still strangers in the room. But yeah, I think it's a really cool space to be a part of. I think we're so honored to be there and facilitating the event that's happening, but it's completely like down to the people that show up. You know, they make the magic happen, and we just feel so honored and lucky to be a part of that. And every space you go to is different.